Yo, what up, what up, what up? Alright, so this is working cool. Alright, so for today, I kind of want to start, going over some plays first from yesterday's watch list. First of those being Lucid. Let's go to the 5. I trade off the 5. So yesterday's call and put triggers. Call at 28.15, puts at 26.85. So right off the open, we try to test that 28.15 level, right? And we never closed above. This candle right here did close at 28.16, but it's a very long upper wick, so I'm not going to enter into position there. But then that next candle, a big old bearish engulfing, perfect place to enter into some puts. And then we can ride this all the way down, pretty easy move down here to 26.85, end up getting a little bit more, and we're retesting that 26.85 level here after towards the close of the day. So this play, is decently easy. I'll throw my VWAP here, 9, and the VWAP, I use these to day trade, but we test that VWAP and then we close below again. So for the most part, not too much to worry with that trade if we do play that failed call trigger. That was a pretty easy play. I did take this morning, was the only play I made today. Didn't really like some of the price action, so I just stuck to one trade for the day and made some decent money, stayed green, so I like it. Second one, BA. So the travel sector was very hot today, right? Right off the open, pretty ugly candle. We had that 28 level call trigger, and we finally get a close above it here at 9:50 a.m. Retest it, not perfectly, but we do have a very long candle, very good volume, long. Wait, hold up, that's the next candle. So long lower wick, then we have that nice volume, blows all through our price targets. Yesterday we talked about, this thing can get moving over that 209.6 level, which it did. It gets up to 211 area, 212 almost, and then we consolidate on that 209.6 again for a push into day. So I like those two plays a lot. This one here on BA, we close above, right? Nice entry spot in here, and then we can just ride this 9 EMA all the way up. We're above VWAP, not too much to worry about. And right, I probably would have scaled on this candle here, bearish engulfing, had a nice little run, so there's a good spot to take some money out. And then after that, we get that retest of the EMAs, the VWAP, push right up, and then we start to consolidate here. This is where I would definitely scale all of my position. We can't really break through any of these levels. Two pretty ugly upper wicks, so sellers are coming into control. But that BA, was very strong today, even with the market pretty weak for most of the day. The travel sector was pretty hot. For tomorrow's watch list, 2-8, we're going to start over here on unusual whales. And the first thing that pops out to me is Facebook, the very first ticker. Facebook's usually towards the middle of the group, so I really, really want to see what we have here. A little bit slow again. Let's see here. Perfect. All right. Dun, 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 dun. So, terrible earnings on Facebook, tanks $80, something like that. So that's all right. It's been a couple days, so I'm more comfortable playing both sides of it now. Puts are definitely going to be pretty high premiums, as it is very low. So first thing, those 240 calls are getting smacked around. And 240 is definitely testable, it looks like here. Facebook can move decent in a day, right? 250s are the second highest, and then those 220 puts are nice as well. 215s doable as well, so I like that. Both sides pretty nice. The 200s are getting hit okay down here. We're getting hit all the way up to those 260 calls, so this could be a big move either way. Kramer did say that the not to buy Facebook, so inverse Kramer theory, this could ride tomorrow. The next one, I'll change the tickers. So next one, Uber also surprised me so high, but they do have earnings tomorrow after hours, so I'm not going to play that, as I do expect IV to be pretty high on that name, which can mess up some things, some premium stuff like that. I'd rather be safe and play that after earnings as opposed to the run up. AAL is another one, travel sector. I like this a lot for a small account play. See what we got going on here with some flow. Let's see on this today's breakdown. All right, so first thing that sticks out, 120, 20, 23, 10 and 5 puts are getting hit hard, right? 148,000 open interest. That's people holding this for, a 10 in a year. That's a $7 drop. They're at 64 cents right now, so that's definitely sparking my attention. In terms of the short term, it looks like pretty bullish, getting hit up to these 18.5s. Nice hits on the 17.5s. It did finish at 17.27, so it makes sense. But we're also getting hits on these 218, 21s, and 22s, and the 318, 25s. So short term, this looks pretty good. We also have that 16.5 put on the downside. But long term, it looks like pretty bearish name at this point with the travel sector and COVID and all that good stuff. Let's see here. Let's find some more. Snap, the prices are absolutely insane, and I don't know if I like it all that much. PLTR. So PLTR has earnings next week. One thing to keep in mind, but there has been some unusual flow coming in terms of buying of calls, and most of the time when that happens, they drop news about some sort of government contract, as that is their main form of business right now. So what really sticks out, 14s and the 15s are getting hit nice. Finished today at 13.02. 12 puts are getting hit nice. Very tight bid-ask spreads, very cheap premiums. I like this play a lot, especially for the smaller accounts. We can work on scaling a lot easier, right? 318, 18s are getting hit, so a possible big move. I like that play a lot here for PLTR. Neo, the baby right here. So Neo's sitting in that little volume profile still waiting on the big move. But when it comes, this sucker is going to run, and it's one of my favorite plays. Bid-ask spreads are nice, a lot of liquidity, can move pretty outrageous when it gets moving, so I like that a lot. In terms of the flow, we're getting hits up to those 27 on the calls, and on the puts we're down to 22s. Finished today at 24, so I like that a lot. Big play potential both sides. Looks like some people are taking some longer swing types on these 318.30s, 617.35s. I like that. I'm guessing this 617 is a strangle here or a hedge with these 35 calls, so I like to see that. 21 puts getting hit down here as well, but pretty bullish in terms of the top overall volume here on Neo. Hey, can you be quiet, dog? Thank you. All right, and then for my last name, so my three I really like for those small accounts for tomorrow are AAL, PLTR, and then of course Neo. I like how it's moving in that profile, and as I said, could be a big move once it really gets moving. Let's see. I want to look into Twitter. Here we go. So Twitter, has been running along with Snap, Pinterest, those type names, same sector, but there were some unusual flow alerts that came in intraday. People have taken some pretty good OTM positions on both sides, so I like this play a lot. Looks like we're at a pretty crucial point here on this little chart here. So a little bit more expensive right now as it has ran a little, but people are taking some 225, 2022, 70 calls, 218, 70 calls, don't know about that. 211s are getting hit up to 50, which is pretty insane. Puts, we're getting hit both sides, so this could act as that magnet effect, right? So that's pretty intense, and I like this a lot. Go. Dogs, man, dogs. All right, let's go over some levels. So for Facebook, flip this over here. Flip these off real quick. All right, let's go to the 15. Let's go to hourly to start. All right, so looking at Facebook, this level here is definitely big, but I think it's a little high up here at 230. Definitely a target I'm going to look at. What's the high here? 228.57, 228.53. All right, cool. So for a call trigger, I like that level. at 228.55. We tested it again, nice little double top look. So if over that, we can get some movement for sure. 228.55, I like that for a call trigger on Facebook. And then in terms of a put trigger, it's going to be a little bit harder as we're beaten down, right? But if we scroll all the way out, down over in here, it's the last levels. So it looks like, 211's, 222 big level, 222, 220 is a big level. Cool. I'm going to use this 221 psych level as my put level. Let's see. Put this 221. I really like Facebook, more to the upside right now, as it is very beaten down. But to the downside, we do have this volume gap down to 216, which I think can definitely be hit. Throw that in there, 216.88. Nice. But that 220 level is going to be big, 218, 219. It is a bigger name, so those psych levels really work well and are one that we can really keep in mind. So looking at this on this 15, there is nice volume gaps up to 323. What's the high on this? 332.15. Throw this in here, 332.15. Maybe a little low, but I like that. 332.15. I like that. Cool. And then we do have that POC up all the way up there at 238.87. But over that, I'm gonna have to use the hourly. This sucker can definitely move, but I don't expect it to hold too much as of right now, especially with the way SPY closed today. But it looks like this level here, what are the lows? What's the high here? 236. So 236 definitely a big level. What's the low on this candle? 237.10. We'll throw that in there. 237.10. This is definitely one I'm gonna be watching. In terms of, I like it more to the upside as the puts. They're definitely a little bit overpriced on a premium, in my honest opinion. So I like that more to the upside. But it's one that can move pretty well in Facebook. AAL, second one here. So let's see. Okay, we got a lot of congestion, it looks like, up in these levels. I like that call trigger though. 17.5 here on this call trigger. I like that. 17.5. Flip that to blue real quick. A little bit easier to see. Over 17.5. Let's see. So that level's, what's the high on this? All right, we have a nice little volume gap up here towards 18, which is nice to see. 17.65 is going to be a big level. And then over that, the real thing that sticks out here, the 17.8's a decent level. So I'll throw that in here, 17.8. It's also the 17.83, looks like the start of our volume profile, but the real area I'm watching and like a lot is that 18 level. So this can, that's a 50-cent move on a ticker that has very tight spreads, pretty cheap premium. So I like that play a lot. And then let's see, let's go to the 15. Look for a downside trigger. Downside. Let's see. So this, we have some decent VP. There's not too much here on this VPA, right? But levels that really stick out are this level, the high here, low at, let's see, 1707. So I'll use that as a put trigger. I like that. I'm gonna look left, see what we're dealing with there. Yeah, so that's been a level tested multiple times. I like that a lot. And then I'm gonna aim for that 16. So, we're going to have to break through that 17 level for sure, as it is a psych level. But under that, the level that really sticks out is 16.95. It's a high over here, low in today. I like that. And then underneath that, we can get moving pretty decent down towards the 16.8 level. But there's decent amount of consolidation going on, some different volumes in here. So I'm going to be careful once I get under that 17, 16.95 level. But this is one that can move pretty fast when it does move, but more throughout the day it's going to be a slow mover. So I'm going to look to play this one off the open. About 15 minutes in usually is when the decent moves happen, as we saw today. The first hour or so it moved a decent bit, and then we did get a midday pullback, which was nice to see. I like that one a lot. Twitter. So let's see. All right, this is a massive level. I think it's a little bit low. I'm gonna wait till we get over that. Yeah, I like this level. Tested multiple times. Tested here. Tested in here. Support, resistance. Turns a little bit of resistance, then support again at 36.5 here for Twitter. There is a decent bit on this volume profile, so that's something to watch for sure. But over that, I like it towards 36.68 is going to be a level. But if we get over that 36.68, this sucker can fly. In the next level, I'll really watch over that 36.8. Is this 37, 36.95? Throw that in here, 36.95. Let's go to the hourly, look for something on the top side here. All right, so we do have a little bit more congestion here on this hourly. Up towards 37.3 is going to be my top target here on Twitter. If we can get moving over that 36.68, test that 37, and then push up towards 37.3, that's a good move here on Twitter. We do have that call volume. People are hitting some pretty out there calls, which is nice to see. Let's see this VPA gap to the downside I like a lot as well. Let's see what levels. All right, let's go to 15, break down some bottom side. All right, so this level sticks out for sure. 35.77, I think that's a little bit high, as we did close just above 36. All right, I'm gonna let's scroll left a little. So 35.5 looks to be a big level. 35.78, I'm gonna use the hourly, can't see anything over to the left on this right now. All right, so this level here is big, 35.9, okay. What's the high here? 35.72, the low, 35.55. It's a low here, 35.49, 35.7, 35.68. Okay, so I'm gonna throw my put trigger in here at right in between these at 35.6, if I can do that. I like that. To the downside, Twitter actually looks pretty good with this nice VPA over in here. Levels that I would watch are down here at 35.3. It was a very big resistance before gapping up. 35.28, I believe, is the level exactly. So I like that. And then underneath that, 34.75 is going to be a massive level. But if we can play those puts off of the old call trigger and get them down to that 35.6, down to 34.75, that's a nice move, right? So I like this play a lot. The downside definitely looks enticing. Looks like we're coiling a little bit, might have fallen out here towards the end of the day. We're underneath this little cluster here, so it's looking bearish to me personally, but the flow is indicating some pretty decent moves to the upside. PLTR. All right, so a lot of congestion over the top for sure, which is intriguing. But I like this double top here, right underneath these two zones. If we can turn this into support, I like that. 13.22, throw this in blue, use that as a call trigger. Let's break this on the 15, kind of look at this a little bit better. Yeah, so that's definitely a big level. And these are also big levels up here at 13.3. Definitely going to keep that in mind. The premiums are tight, right? So that's nice. That 13.28 is going to be a big level. But I like getting in over this double top here. We can turn this into support, consolidate a little in that 13.28, this has a chance to make some good moves. Level I'm going to watch over that was the high 1343. Throw this in here in yellow. So it looks like right over that zone to 1343, and then 13.6 is another big level here on the upside. And then, yeah, 13.6 is a very big level if we scroll left. Acted as support as well. Then over 13.6, we start to get a little bit more range up towards this 14 level. 13.95 is big. I'm going to throw that in there. If we can make that move, I'll be very happy. But, I like that move from 13.22 to 13.6. So I'll be happy with that move for sure. As I say, some pretty tight spreads here on PLTR, so I like that. And then for a put trigger, this level here is really sticking out to me at 12.8. It looks like it was resistance here, then turned support over here today. So I like that. 12.8 on this put. I like that a lot. And then the next level under that, this is definitely a big level here at 12.69. I like the number. Throw it in 12.7. 10-cent move, but the premiums are tight, the spreads are tight, so I like that. I'll watch that area, but that's not going to be the area I'm really intrigued. I'm going to have to use hourly to get some better looks. All right. Okay. So yeah, 12.7 is a big area. Underneath that, this is another, 12.5, okay. Pretty obvious there. 12.51, all right. And underneath that, this goes down to 12.27, which is a big level. 12.3, I'm going to throw that in there as well. Another one that, moves similar to AAL in terms, actually, now looking at this on the hour, it looks like we might be forming a head and shoulders with this left shoulder here. Top, looks like our neckline's about that 13, we'll say about, 13.43. Looks like possibly forming a right shoulder. Can get a little bit of consolidation in here, then I'd expect a breakdown to this 12.3. And if it's a true head and shoulders, it'll break down towards 12 and then push down a little bit further. Looks like here on the hourly, possible head and shoulders there. So I'll keep that in mind when playing, but as always, price action can take away that as well. All right, so looking at NEO, very tight consolidation range. So as I was saying, this thing can move. Looks like 12.67, close over 24.7 is going to be a telltale factor. 25 has been a big level as well. But in terms of a call, come on now. Yeah, a lot of tight consolidation here on NEO. In terms of a call and put trigger, oh boy. I'm going to use the top, what's the low on this? 24.39, 24.40. I'm going to use 24.40 as my call trigger. We do have a little bit of little node right here, but I like that level. We're going to definitely have to watch the top of this zone right in here at 24.6 as well. And then on the downside, so yesterday when I talked about this a little bit, the level I had was 23.55. It actually respected it very, very well. So I'm going to use 23.55 again as my put trigger. Oh, I don't want purple. I like that, respect it well. It's been holding it, so I would definitely like a move to the upside, but always prepared for a move to the downside as well. Underneath that, not too much on this VPA, so I would expect to move down towards 23. Looking at why NEO's been one of my favorites is this daily chart here, right? So looking at this, let's get my VPA. Looking at this, we're in this little node here on VPA. So a close below, test 23. A close above, we can test this gap right here to 27.22. So I like that. Big play potential for sure. We're consolidating in a pretty tight range. So either to tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm expecting a pretty explosive move out of NEO, either up or down. In this case, it looks like it wants to go up, but I'll stick with the price action, see what it gives me, use those call triggers. I like that a lot. And it looks like on the daily here, 24.8 is a very big level. So I'm going to throw that in as well at 24.8 on the upside. So I like that a lot. Another thing, we closed pretty weak on SPY. DWAC, if you guys played that, closed very, very bad. And then some things to keep in mind. Wednesday, we have earnings on Uber and Disney. I expect those to have a little bit of an impact on the market. Those are the two I'm really going to watch. I like Disney's upside a lot, but I'll wait to play that after earnings. On Disney, there's multiple gaps above, so I really, really like that on the upside.